Good morning, students. I hope you all are doing good. In the previous class, we had completed the first chapter, of which I had given you the question answers. I hope you all must have written in your history copy. If not, please write down all the exercises which I have given. Children, today we will start with the second chapter, which is the Vedic period. Children, the topic which we are going to discuss today are the advent of the Aryans, sources, the Vedic literature, early Vedic literature, later Vedic literature, the archaeological sources, and the Rig Vedic civilization. The advent of the Aryans in India and their occupation of this land is the most interesting and most important event in the history of India. See, the Aryans were highly civilized. They were well versed in warfare. The Aryans spoke the Indo-European languages, which are spoken in modified forms all over Europe, Iran, and the greater part of the Indian subcontinent. The Aryans did not lead a settled life in the beginning. Although the Aryans used several animals, the horse played the most significant role in their life. Now, what are the sources? The Vedic literature. Historians got more knowledge from the literary evidence, that is, the Vedic literature, than from any other source about the history of the Indo-Aryans. See, children, the word Veda is derived from the root Vid, which means to know. Thus, Veda means wisdom or knowledge. In other words, Vedas may be called the storehouse of the Aryan wisdom. The Vedic literature is divided into two groups on the basis of their age of composition. Which are the two groups? Early Vedic literature and later Vedic literature. Children, there are four Vedas. The first one, the Rig Veda. Second one, the Samved. Third one, the Yajurved. And the fourth one, the Atharvaved. See, as I have told you, the Vedic literature is divided into two groups: early Vedic literature and later Vedic literature. The Rig Veda comes in early Vedic literature. So now here we will study about the Rig Veda. Rig Veda is the oldest Veda and therefore known as the first testament of mankind. It has about 1028 mantra or hymns written in praise of various gods, representing various aspects of nature. It contains the Gayatri Mantra, and much of the Indian philosophy is based on the Rig Veda. Now we come to the later Vedic literature. The Samved, the Yajurved and the Atharvaved. These come in later Vedic literature. The Samved. The word Sam means sweet songs. Sam means sweet song. Its hymns are meant for priests who used to sing them while performing yajnas. The priest used to sing these hymns while performing the yajnas. It contains 1875 hymns. Now we come to the Yajurved. Yajurved contains 2086 hymns that describes the rituals to be observed while performing yajnas or sacrifices. Then the Atharvaved. It has hymns dealing with charms and spells for subduing evil spirits and controlling diseases. The Vedas throw much light on the social, political, religious and economic life of the Aryans. The first that we will discuss about is the Brahmanas. Brahmanas are commentaries on the Vedic hymns rendered in simple prose. Some of the passages refer to the contemporary social and political condition of the country as well. Then comes the Aranyakas. The Aranyakas are a part of the Brahmanas and were written for the guidance of the hermits who lived in forest, so that they could easily understand the Vedic wisdom. Then comes the Upanishads, are the source of Indian philosophy. They explain numerous mysteries of life. To know about the relationship between the soul and the creator, the theories of the karma, maya and mukti, etc. The Upanishads there are about 300 Upanishads, of which they contain valuable information about the social and religious condition of the Aryans. The Sutras. As the time passed on, new customs were born. Instead of adding them to existing books, they were compiled separately. These sutras can be divided into three groups. The Srota Sutras, they deal with the religious ideas of the Aryans, their yajnas or sacrifice. The Griha Sutras, they deal with various ceremonies of sanskars of a family man from his birth to death. The Dharam Sutras, they deal both with social customs and civil and criminal laws. Now we will study about the Vedangas and Upvedas. The Vedangas are a part of Vedic literature which deals with the subject like the Vedangas deal with the subject like grammar, education, astrology, etc. Besides, there are several Upvedas which deal with the subjects like medicine, warfare, music, architecture, etc. Six darshanas or schools of Indian philosophy. Six rishis of the Hindus tried to explain the philosophy dealt in the Upanishads, which they have divided into distinct groups. They have divided into six distinct groups. These are called the darshanas. Now we will study about the Puranas. Puranas too are an essential part of the Vedic literature. They are 18 in number and each has 5 sections. The fifth section has an importance of its own as it contains information about kings and their dynasties. Now we will study about the great epics. The two great epics. You must be knowing, children, which are the two great epics? Yes, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Describe the lives and the exploits of the great heroes of the Aryans. They provide sufficient information about the social, religious, economic and political life of the later Aryans. They reveal the high ideals of family life of the Aryans. The Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata. The Bhagavad Gita explains the philosophy of karma and immortality of the soul as well as devotion to the Almighty. Now we will study about the Dharam Shastras. The Dharam Shastra give us knowledge of the laws and judicial system of the Aryans, which is Manusmriti, the Yajnavalkya Smriti, the Vishnu Smriti and the Narad Smriti. Of all these Smritis, the most significant is the Manusmriti. Which is the most significant? The Manusmriti. It contains the code of Hindu laws and the duties of each Varna or caste. See, this Manusmriti, what does it contain? It contains the code of Hindu laws and the duties of each Varna or caste. It divides 100 years span of man's life into 4 ashrams of 25 years each. The man's life is divided into 4 ashram. Which are that 4 ashram? The Brahmacharya ashram, the Grihastha ashram, the Vanprastha ashram and the Sannyas ashram. In the first stage called the Brahmacharya ashram, a A man stays in his teacher's home and receives education. In the first stage of man's life, that is till the age of 25 years, a man stays in his teacher's house and receives education. In the second stage of man's house, that is from the age of 25 to 50 years, a man stays in Grihastha ashram. In that he gets married, begets children and earns his living to support the family. In the third stage, he leaves home to live in forest, where he spends his years in devotion to God and in prayers, etc. This is called the third stage, that is the Vanprastha ashram. And in the last stage, called the Sannyas ashram, a man dedicates himself to the service of the people and the preaching of the religious ideals. So these are the 4 stages of man's life. Now we will study about the archaeological sources. See children, the discovery of iron implements such as hammers, arrowheads, spearheads, saws, etc. belonging to the later Vedic phase indicates that people had begun using iron during this period. We come to know that by this period the people had started using the iron. With the help of iron implements, later Vedic people were able to clean dense forest and bring more land under cultivation. How they were able to do this? They were able to do this with the help of iron implements. Agriculture became an important occupation and people grew many varieties of crops. Iron sickles, plows driven by the oxen and hoes were used to get more yield. Then the evidence of the use of painted grey ware, that is PGW pottery, is available from excavated sites such as Hastinapur, Alamgirpur, Mathura, Shravasti and Kaushambi. What is PGW? PGW is a very fine, smooth pottery consisting of open-mouthed bowls and dishes. It is made from high-quality clay with various geometric patterns printed on it in black or deep chocolate brown. These spots point to the fact that from these things we come to know that later Vedic people were well versed with sophisticated fire techniques. Now we will study about the Rig Vedic civilization. See children, from the oldest Veda, which is the oldest Veda? The oldest Veda, that is the Rig Veda. From the Rig Veda, we can obtain the information regarding the social, economic, religious and political life of the Rig Vedic Aryans. So first we will study about the social life of the Rig Vedic Aryans. How was their social life? How was their family life? The Aryans led a simple life. They lived in villages and they lived a very simple and happy life. The father was the head of the family and the oldest male member in the family was called Grihapati. What was the oldest male member called? He was called Grihapati, or the master of the household. All the members had to obey the Grihapati. The Grihapati performed all the social and religious rites with full faith. Rigvedic society, many families formed themselves into a tribe and whole tribe lived in a single village. See, now we will study about the condition of the woman. That means we will study at that time in the Rigvedic civilization, what was the condition of the woman. See, the women were held in high esteem. No holy functions was performed without their participation. The women used to take part in all festivals and functions freely, as there was no such practice as the Parda system. The women used to take part in all functions and festivals. They received education like the members of the family. Some of the renowned scholars such as Vishwara, Ghosha, Upala, Mudgalani, etc., who composed some Rigvedic hymns. These are some scholars who composed the Rigvedic hymns. Young men and women had the right to choose their own partners. There was no such thing as the child marriage nor the evil of sati. The widows had the choice to remarry. See children, from this we come to know that the women were given education, they were respected, they had the right to choose their partner, they had the widow had the right of remarriage. Now we come to the food and dress of the Rigvedic Aryans. The Aryans ate very simple food but wholesome food. They generally took vegetables, fruits and corn like barley and wheat and milk products in their food. They also drank a beverage called the soma, which was also offered to the gods and used in ritual sacrifices or yajnas. The Aryans used to wear simple dress. The dress was very simple and it was made of, their clothes were made of cotton and wool. They used to turban to cover their heads and wore undergarments, shirts and dhotis. They also wore gold and silver ornaments. Now, games and amusements. The Aryans spent their free time in hunting, chariot race, dancing, singing, gambling with dice, etc. Now we come to absence of the caste system. See, children, there was no such system as the caste system. as it is practiced today. They had divided their society into 4 varnas. What were their 4 varnas? Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Sudras, to regulate their life in a better way. There was no restriction on a person going over to another varna or profession. Children, today we will be discussing till here only. I hope you must have understood what I taught today. Read the chapter and try to understand the things. We will continue the chapter in the next class. Thank you.